linda mask.
So now I'm warmed up, I guess this is a good time to start the video. Hi guys, my name is Freddie High. I'm a 19-year-old rock climber and route setter from the UK, and this is my journey to fulfilling a lifetime goal. So a little while ago, I had some time off, and in that period, I took the time to reflect and have a think about where I want my climbing to progress. For me, I decided that I had a few different goals, but they all kept going to the same place, and that was climbing 8C. 8C as in a V15 boulder. Now for me, that 8C came out of a desire to be at the kind of elite level of the climbing community. Now of course you can climb at 8C plus and 9A now, but for me I think 8C is the kind of realistic limit of that bottom end of the really elite level of climbing. Now obviously I'm not starting from scratch. This body is not a clean slate. I have climbed for 10 years. I've climbed 8A boulders, but the kind of progression to 8C is the point of diminishing returns. So if I want to get to that elite level, I'm going to have to really elevate my training and start pushing myself harder than ever. So this video series, this vlog, whatever you want to call it, this is my kind of way of giving myself some self-discipline and give myself some way to reflect on my own training, and it's even better that I can bring you guys along for a ride. So I hope you enjoy this series and please stay tuned. So as I've been warming up, you probably will have noticed I've been doing it on my home wall. It's a quite a good little 45-degree board that I built a while ago. As well as having the resin holds all the way up and down that you'll probably be used to and seeing on a home wall or another 45 board. It's also got these neat campus rungs on the middle, which gives me quite a good kind of way of standardized training, so that I can measure my progression very easily and make sure that I'm being symmetric with my training as well. Now the way I'm going to start this off is by following the Lattice Canvassing protocol, which they've got on their Crimped app, which is a free great training app, if you're wondering. And it starts off with just 3 sets of 147 and 158 each side. Obviously I'm going to do that with my feet on. I think I might do 159 as well, just because it's a bit easier to do that on this board especially, and I'll probably go 147-10 as well. I actually felt pretty strong there, so I'm going to try 8s and 1/6-10s next. I only stuck that 2 times out of 6, but I've never actually stuck that before, so I think a third of the attempt sticking is pretty good. Good way to start the day. So the next thing we're going to move on to is doing just campusing on it, so basically the same ladder sets again, but this time with no feet, so just standard campusing. I'm going to start off with 147 and see how I go.
So that's where he's got the mats.
So I've just finished all 6 sets of the 147, so next I think I'm going to try just 15. Probably won't pull through. The other thing on here is that it's the standard spacing, so 22 centimeters from here to here. However, because the angle is so much steeper than a regular campus board, the rungs are actually vertically a lot closer together, so it does make the pull through I wouldn't say easier, because it's just very different, because you can't get as much through off the lower hand when you're pushing down, but it does mean it's a lot more dependent on the higher arm, so it becomes more of like a one-arm pull-up, so it just makes it a little bit more interesting than your regular campus board. So those 1.5s felt pretty easy, so I think next I'm just going to try some 1.6s, just see how it goes. I don't really have high hopes for this one because I struggle on a regular campus board to do this when I can still push down quite low. But you know, feeling strong, so let's see how it goes. I'm still just a little too weak for that one. So while I was still on power, I think I'm going to try some one-arm pull-ups quickly, because I haven't tried them in a few months and I really want to know where I'm at, because I'll be really upset if I've kind of fatigued or I guess lost that ability. So it's kind of nerve-wracking, but we'll see where we're at and just adapt from that. I'm pretty stoked with that actually, like managed to just get one, but yeah, I can't really complain. It's not a bar, so I think it's a little bit harder, at least that's my excuse for not doing it anymore, but good to see that I haven't lost it, so that's psyched with that. I'm just thinking about what I want to do while I'm still out in the garden, because there's a few things that I can do out here a lot more easily than I can do indoors. So I know I want to do some TRX and I know I want to do some skipping, but I think I'm going to do some more one-armers and maybe have a go at a lock-off drill that I haven't done in a while. So I'll start with the one-armers and then see how I go with the others. I might decide I don't want to do the lock-offs because it's pretty poor. I think that's all she wrote for the pull-ups. Usually I'd be wanting to train this with a kind of pulley rig, take some weight off, or maybe a TheraBand, but I don't have that equipment with me at the moment because of everything that's going on, so maybe I'll have to order something like that and train them properly. But I think 3 iffy form one-armers for the first time in a few months is, I don't think that's too bad. I'm back at the wall. I got my shoes on. I'm going to do the lock-off drill. I wasn't sure I was going to, but I remembered I've got my tattoo here, 100%. Gotta commit, give it that little bit more. So that's the reason I got it, to remind me to just give it that little more when I'm feeling like I don't want to. So this drill is one that was shown to me by Andre Hedger. He's a total beast. Look him up if you don't know him. But basically it's going to be just matching on one of these campus rungs and then alternating hands, reaching up or to the side or diagonally as far as I can, holding that for a few seconds and then coming back down and then swapping over. I've got such a love-hate relationship with that drill. It's like, I know it's so good, but it sucks so much. On another note, if anyone has like a home wall, home 40 board, home whatever, highly recommend getting a set of campus rungs and a set of really bad little foot jibs. It's probably the most cost efficient and space efficient way of like getting a decent setup that you can just get so much variety out of your training on. Really recommend this. So just packed up the mats. Next is TRX. For TRX I do front and back IYTs. It's something that I've been neglecting for a while again. Just something that I need to improve on because it's what I think will give me a lot more shoulder stability and hopefully a bit more strength than just general shoulder strength, which is something that I think I definitely need. So hopefully if I stick to this, then hopefully it'll develop a bit more.
In a crude laboratory in the basement of his home,
So I think the last thing I want to do outside before I head in for a bit of a break before my evening session is to do some skipping. So I think the protocol that I'm going to follow is going to be 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off, and I'm going to do that 5 times, so half an hour of skipping total. Should be pretty fun, I guess. So that's about it for the morning session. I think now it's time to have a bit of food, have a little rest, chill out for a little while, and then I'll start on the evening session. So it's later in the evening now. I've had a chance to rest, get some food, recover properly from the earlier session today. So next up is my strength training. So I'm going to start off with pull-ups using a weight vest. Then I'll move on to some press-ups and then on to core. Probably not the healthiest quarantine art project, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little bit proud of that. So I'm loaded up with my weight vest now. I'm going to be doing 10 sets of 10 pull-ups with 2 minutes rest in between, which should give me enough recovery to keep at that kind of high intensity. So that's me all done with the pull-up set, so next one's some push-ups. So after the pull-ups, I've just finished doing my push-ups. That was 12 reps, 10 sets of 12 reps, again with a 10 kilo weight vest. So next I'm going to move on to the core. So I was getting pretty hot and I'm too lazy to change into shorts, so I rolled up my jogging bottoms into shorts, and it's a bit quirky, but I think I pull it off. What do you think? Is this going to be the new fashion trend of 2020? So you may have noticed in today's earlier session, before I got on the 45 board, I was taping up my finger. That's because I'm still recovering slightly from a finger injury. I've had the time off to give it the proper kind of rest time it needs. So we can next be doing some fingerboarding, light fingerboarding, just to try and regain the strength before I can train on it properly. So before we do that, I'm going to be taping it up again and using a resistance band to re-warm it up. So I've just finished taping up my finger before I start my fingerboard routine. The taping protocol or method that I'm doing is called the X method. Basically, it's 2 rings at the bottom and middle joint of your finger, with an X going across the inside of this knuckle of your finger, and it just provides a little bit of support when closing your finger. So I've now warmed up my finger, I've taped up my finger, so I'm ready to start hangboarding. The protocol that I'm going to be following is on Lattice's Crimped app, which is again a great free kind of training tool. I'm going to be doing the varied grips hang with no added weight, so pretty low intensity hopefully. And it goes for just three sets of 7 seconds on, with quite nice long 2-minute rests in between.
In a crude laboratory in the basement of his home,
So I've just finished my hangboarding for tonight. Because my finger is still kind of on the mends, I'm going to be finishing up before I do some core and stretching with some contrast therapy, which basically is getting some hot water and some cold water in separate bowls, and just dunking my hand in each of them alternately for about 5 minutes or so. Anyone want some hand-flavoured soup? We got gazpacho and regular. So the last couple of things that I'm going to do before I finish and go to bed are, first I'm going to do a quick core exercise, a 6-minute core. I'll show you that in a second. And then after that I'm going to do the same stretching routine that I did this morning, but I'm also going to do a bit of foam rolling as well. So this is my core routine. There's 12 exercises here. I'm going to be doing each one for 30 seconds, and I'm going to be doing them consecutively. So for the whole workout, it's going to take me 6 minutes. So now the core's done as well. So the last thing that I've got to do is just to stretch and foam roll, just to help my muscles recover a little bit before my next session. So with my stretching and foam rolling done, that's it for today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys at the next one.